wanna feel your touch. I want it all, but I keep running away, running away. I wanna show you love. I want it all too much. I wish I could, but I just can't. I can't get over love.
Hello guys, and welcome back to another one with us, the Review Bros, and today we're going to be reviewing a pre-workout called 12 Strong, sent kindly down to us by Ball Nutrition, so thank you guys. As you know, we're going to keep it 100% honest as we go through the taste, price, label and effects and working out if it's the right pre-workout for you. Even if they did kindly send us down a nice keyring and lanyard along with the pre-workout, we're going to give it to you straight. And if you're new here and you do like the video, give it a like, hit the sub button if you haven't already, hit the bell icon so you don't miss any of our uploads, because we upload about 2 or 3 a week. But let's get into this one. Okay, first segment, taste and mixability. We've got sour cherry. As far as I can tell, also comes in blue raspberry, and I would have gone for the sour cherry flavour, so happy days. So it is a big scoop. It's actually 2 scoops to get your serving amount, 36.6 grams. And when we get into the label, you'll see why it's such a big scooper, but we do like our big scoops around here on Review Bros. Anyway, so chucked it in, given it a stir. I'm actually really impressed by the mixability. It doesn't really make sense how it's mixed so well. Look, check that out for yourselves. Coming on 40 grams, and there's only a few little granules of material at the bottom. So all things considered, fantastic mixability. So let's get into it. Obviously some frothing on the top. Again, I don't want to spoil too much till we get into the label, but let's see how it tastes. Very nice, yeah. It definitely does taste of cherry. There is like a kind of, can't put my finger in it, like a washing kind of taste, like a clinical kind of soapiness to it in the background, but the sourness does come through from that cherry, thankfully. So it is actually a nice taste, especially when they've got so much material to mask and mix up with it coming on to the 40 gram almost. So one more sip and I'll come to a score for you. Do you know what, I'm happy to give that a 7 out of 10, and it definitely would be higher if it was more doable, but because it's such a big scoop, it's very thick and, you know, you're very aware that you're drinking a pre-workout. So that does knock it down a little bit, but on flavour alone, it's really good. So overall, I do land on the 7 out of 10, but let's move into price. Okay, so how much is it going to be setting you back to pick up this nice big juicy tub of pre-workout? Well, you head over to their official website where they do international shipping, just a heads up guys. You can use our 10% discount code RB10 and reduce the price of this tub of pre-workout to $62.99, bearing in mind obviously Canadian dollars, or $3.15 per the serving. So not too bad, 20 servings, obviously it's 40-20, but we go with a full serving amount potential, which is the 20 at the 2 scoops. That would work out as £1.82 per the serving, and when you put it on our consistent price scale that measures how expensive pre-workouts are from across the world, it falls in at a 4 out of 10. So it is even with that discount code more expensive than your average pre-workout, but once we get into the label and the effects, you might argue that yes, you are getting more than average pre-workout. So let's move into it now. Okay, let's get into this juicy label. Obviously, like I mentioned, it's 36.6 grams when you do the 2 scoops to get that maximum serving amount. First up, we've got L-citrulline at 6 grams, a dose that most people love to see. It's that amino acid that's going to bump up nitric oxide levels in the bloodstream, leading to increased blood flow, widened veins, and of course, juicy pumps. Then we move down to beta-alanine at 3.2 grams. Again, the dose most people look for, the dose we like to see. It's that amino acid that helps with endurance when it builds up in your system. It helps to buffer lactic acid, but why most people love it, ourselves included, is for that itchy, tingly sensation when it kicks in. So hopefully we get it with this one. Then we move down to betaine anhydrous at 2 grams. Nice dose. Normally see 2 to 2.5 grams as a minimum. That is a bit of a jack of all trades in that it helps with power, pumps, performance. Love to see it. Then we've got creatine HCl at 3 grams, which is a nice dose, especially as it is creatine HCl, bear that in mind. So 3 grams is actually a very, very nice dose of that form. It's a more absorbable form of creatine. You don't need a loading phase with it, which is why it makes sense to put this one in pre-workouts, I guess, more so than creatine monohydrate. So yeah, it's going to help with your performance and power output and all that good stuff that we love creatine for, a bit of pumps as well. Then we've got L-leucine at 4 grams, which helps with muscle growth, HGH production, fat loss, bit of a jack of all trades building block of protein. So yeah, you do see that in some of these more daily driver, juicy style pre-workouts. So again, it kind of makes sense to see it in here. Then we've got taurine, another jack of all trades amino at 2 grams. We normally only see about 1 gram, so we've got double that amount here. It's going to help with hydration, it's going to help with energy production in the body and some cognitive benefits as well. Then we move down to black ginger, 300 milligrams, which has antioxidant benefits, so it's going to help with inflammation, digestion, things like that. Nice healthy one. Then we've got PKTP, 435 milligrams. You might think to yourself, that sounds a bit like Elevate TP, and I'm going to assume it's a different version of the same thing, but that's going to help with your power output, your strength. It's going to help to offset fatigue. It's just going to help you perform better for longer, essentially. Then we've got citicoline, 350 milligrams, really nice form of choline there as a choline donor. A really solid dose as well. That's going to help with your athletic performance, your mental focus, again, sort of anti-fatigue when it concerns the mental side of things, so you can press on for harder and longer. Then we've got caffeine at 300 milligrams, a sweet spot amount. Maybe slightly less than what you typically see in pre-workouts these days. You generally see more towards 350 milligrams, but nonetheless, that's still a potent amount, and it's 3 cups of coffee worth of caffeine there, more than an energy drink. You know, energy drinks are normally like 150 to 180, so we're talking about 2 energy drinks worth of energy here. It's going to wake you up, it's going to get you moving, and it's the foundational stimulant ingredient in any pre-workout. Then we move down to vitamin D3, 25 micrograms. You know, we'll take our vitamins in board, obviously. It's just going to help with general health benefits, all of that good stuff that we take our vitamins for. Then we've got non-medical ingredients. This is a Canadian company. This is why it might look a bit different to what labels you're used to seeing. So glycerol monohydrate, and this is where the label does take a unique turn, because this is not something you see very often at all. In fact, off the top of my head, I can't even think of another pre-workout that has it to this level. 10 grams of glycerol. So that's that ingredient that's going to pull water into the muscle cell, hyperhydration. It's going to help with your pumps, fill you out, nutrient delivery, help with your athletic performance, help with your endurance, all that good stuff. So it's nice to see it at a substantial dose, because I believe studies do prove that you need you know, silly amounts of the ingredient to actually see the actual real world benefits from it. And that does actually wrap it off, because all the rest is just the flavouring bits and pieces that they put in it. So overall, yeah, really unique and impressive label, but let's see how it comes together in the real world. Okay, effects time of our 12 strong pre-workout by Ball Nutrition. How did we get on in the several times we have used it? Well, let's start off like we always do with that beta-alanine. It's in here at 3.2 grams, which is the amount we look for. And it actually kicks in surprisingly strong, because 1, it's a massive scoop at 37 grams nearly, and 2, they don't have, well, I guess you could argue the black ginger is a digestive aid to a degree, but it's not got any black pepper extract, it's not got any estrogen or anything like that we normally would find bumps up the effects of beta-alanine. And normally to get mega tingles, you have to get sort of 4, 5, 6 grams of beta-alanine in a product. However, considering all those factors, and it's in here at 3.2 grams, it kicks in hella strong. I'm saying 8, 9 out of 10 on our tingle scale. So if you like beta-alanine, thumbs up on this one, because you're going to damn well feel it, which is good because it sets the scene to get you moving. And we've always said it's quite an important factor in these lower stim daily driver type products, because it gives you that placebo effect of, right, let's get cracking, especially as that does come in around about the same time as that 300 caffeine starts to come in, which is very smooth, might I add. So yeah, comes in nice and smoothly right after that beta-alanine starts to kick in, gets you geared up, gets you moving. And I would actually say that energy is the lowest point of this pre-workout in terms of the effect of it, and that might not come as any surprise. It's 300 milligrams. It's definitely on the lower end of caffeine as pre-workouts go these days, and that is the only stimulant in it. So obviously if you're a tested athlete and you care about all that sort of thing, you're health conscious, straight away that's going to be perfect for you. But the energy, I would say, lasts a couple of hours, so it's enough to get through a gym session, but not much more beyond that. But then again, that comes with the territory of daily drivers, doesn't it? We're not expecting anything more than that when we are just getting caffeine at 300 milligram. So energy, low to mid. I'm not going to lie. Obviously, if you are in the market for something that's low to mid, then that's perfect. It's person dependent, isn't it? It's not necessarily a bad thing that it's middling kind of energy. It comes with the territory of this type of pre-workout. Now anyway, let's move on to the definitely more noticeable and best aspects of this product: the endurance, the strength, the focus, and the pumps. So let's start off with the focus. Obviously, we've got a nice few decent focus ingredients in this product, and that does come through, especially with that smooth, nice backbone amount of caffeine. So you feel a nice sense of well-being, healthiness, on the ballness, clarity, confidence to get through your training. And again, similar to the energy, lasts a couple of hours and then doesn't disturb you for the rest of the day.
Savage pumps in the gym and the bedroom. Wolf pump.
The focus is good. It's not, obviously not illicit, it's not crazy, it's not super dialed in crazy, but you know you've taken something, you feel switched on, you feel good on it. Now the best part for me, I would have to say, is the pumps and the endurance, because they are definitely noticeable. The feel-good factor on this pre-workout, I think, does come from the focus ingredients, but also from the pumps, as we always find. When you're pumped off your brain, you feel pretty good, don't you? If things are firing in the gym, you know, the contractions are firing, you've got loads of endurance, you're gonna feel good. So I feel like that does all kind of tie in together. But yeah, like I mentioned, the pumps and the endurance is the absolute shining star of this product. And it shouldn't really come as all too much of a surprise when we see the citrulline dosages, the betaine, the creatine, the taurine, and most importantly, the glycerol. I know glycerol is one of these ingredients where you get people, well, like a lot of ingredients in pre-workouts these days, you get the side of the fence of people that hate it, say it's shit, they don't feel anything, it's a pointless ingredient, and then you get people on the other side of the fence that say they love it, they hyper respond to it, it's fantastic. Me and Aaron have always said we get good results of it, so, you know, that's all we can speak to. And it's no different in this one. 10 grams of glycerol, you bloody feel it. But all I would argue is just stay hydrated. To get the most out of the pumps, stay hydrated. Drink loads of water through the day, obviously through your training, after your training. Maximise the usage of that ingredient and all the ingredients really. So yeah, you do get that nice, full, pumped up, swollen, nasty look in the gym. You also do get that vascularity. So it's up there with the pumps. It's definitely up there. You're not going to be questioning if you're pumped or not. It's going to leave no stone unturned when it concerns the juiciness of the pumps. So shining star. And like I touched on, endurance is also great as well, because you're enjoying your training, you're getting pumped up, you want to train more, you also feel more enthusiastic towards training because you're so focused and feeling healthy and on the ball and working up those pumps. Like I said, they all kind of tie in together. So yeah, to summarise, no negatives of this product, very healthy feeling, pumps and endurance top tier, focus just behind, energy sort of low to middle, but again, that's what they're aiming for, it's not necessarily a negative. And if you're obviously if you're in the market for something stronger, you won't be looking at something like this anyway. So there we have it. So I would actually say, genuinely, beginners would be fine with this. Intermediates, perfect. People that take training seriously and want a bodybuilder's pre-workout, that are health conscious, you know, perhaps you do tested shows or whatever and you don't want to be taking dodgy illicit ingredients. Yeah, there's a wide range of audience that this type of pre-workout would be applicable to. And do you know what, it's the sort of pre-workouts that myself and Aaron like using these days. You know, we want to be putting on size, we want to be taking training seriously, especially as we're getting on, I say we're getting on, we're like 31, but you know what I mean. You can't redline yourself all the time, every day, not just for health reasons, but also for the fact that you kind of lose the fun of it if you're taking these crazy ones every day. It's kind of like everything in moderation, right? That's all I can say. But yeah, that's our thoughts and feelings on this one. Obviously, we're doing this new category thing now, avoid, shortlist, buy. I would honestly say shortlist this one. Check it out if you're in the market for something like this. It's definitely unique, especially when it concerns that glycerol. Like I said, let me know down below if you know any pre-workouts that have got that amount in it. But yeah, I think that does cover it all, guys. As always, stay stimmed and pumped.